I'm Tom Jackson, and I'm here to talk to you about solitary confinement. My first question is for you, is why apply solitary confinement to the prison system? Is it justified? Well, as warden of this facility, I take on what's going on very seriously. Start off, I believe there's rules and regulations to justify the use of solitary confinement. In 2007, a Supreme Court case of Jones v. Brock declared that the prison guards and officials can document that all alternative and less severe options were utilized before restoring to solitary confinement. Also, we periodically screen and review any complaints by prisoners. Moreover, this democratic nation ruled that all legislation be judicially reviewed, thanks to the case Marbury versus Madison. So basically, in these facilities, we aren't hiding anything or breaking any rules. Facilities like this are set up to detain bad people who have no morals. Those who commit acts against the government should be prosecuted. No matter what crimes a person commits, the only way for them is to be isolated in my prison is for bad behavior and territory. There is no excuse for getting yourself locked away in solitary confinement. These people are dangerous. After breaking the law in such cruel ways as murder and terrorism, they proceed to be misbehaved while in jail. They either present repeated offenses like disruption, or else they're immediately sent off after something like a fight. Bottom line is, if an inmate gives me reason to believe that my officers and other prisoners are in danger, they are being sent off to isolation. It is that simple. They have rights like food, water, shelter, and clothes. They are provided with all of that, but nothing else. After serving 30 years behind bars, how do you explain to me what the problem is with solitary confinement?
It's unethical. I admit that there should be changes if someone's behavior isn't right. But solitary confinement is not the answer. Not only does it cost 3 times of a standard cell cost, but it also makes people go crazy. And there's other options that benefit everyone. A lot of guys end up being released back into society. I think it would be much more productive to spend all the access and money on mental health programs and therapy. That way there's less maniacs running around the streets. The warden and his crew don't help either. They defend themselves, makes it nearly impossible for someone to process a complaint in such change and respect. They say that judicial review would prevent anything illegal, but they're ignoring the 8th Amendment. Solitary confinement is obviously cruel and unusual punishment. However, the rational basis test of formal judicial review allows many questionably illegal matters to slide in prison facilities. I personally experienced solitary confinement after I protested the guards' maltreatment to my fellow inmates. The conditions are terrible. It's about 10 feet from foot to back and 8 feet to side to side. The bed's only 3 feet wide. There's only 2 tiny windows, a sink, and a toilet. After 6 months, I spent 23 hours a day in that cell and could only leave 3 times a week to shower. I got my food though. I slipped through the door and I sat with nothing to do. There's no sugarcoating it. It's torture. And it leaves me and puts me in there hypocrites. To me, it smells like solving an inmate's behavior problem makes it much more sense than making it worse.
Why do you think solitary confinement should be removed from all prisons? After spending 15 years there, I'd expect you know exactly how brutal it can be.
It's the light! It's the light! Ow! Bernie! Ah! Ah!
What effects does a solitary confinement have on a person? The things that does to a person inadequate to torture. For months or even years without social contact, the construction of a person's mind is permanently damaged. Those who end up in solitary confinement often already have a mental illness. But if not, they will obtain irreversible illnesses. This is due to brain plasticity, which is the brain's ability to change response to experiences. However, like smoking to lungs, over the time that the damage will become permanent. There are stages to this process. Stage 1, it is almost immediate. The inmate will quickly have anxiety, mood swings, and flatness, as well as loss of impulse control. Over time, the lack of external stimulation will cause hyperintensity, and then will complain and obsess repetitively over small details. Next, panic and paranoia will devour the inmate, causing depression, memory loss, and loss of cognitive function. At this point, the inmate can barely be considered human, incapable of using higher brain function. For any prisoners that are freed after this, it is difficult to make decisions or think logically or rationally. At this point, the prisoner has been completely dehumanized, and it is too late to give the mental health and therapy treatment that they observed before. It is difficult to get rid of the solitary confinement because mental health is often not viewed as a fundamental right. So although solitary confinement exacerbates and or creates mental illnesses, it is completely unethical. It still exists. My question for you, the people of the world, is why? Thank you for viewing this presentation.